all the symptoms. Any encouragement.
You go, David?
Yeah.
I mean, at that time, I was in an office with other people, so I did appreciate that at that time we had Cheryl, who was the AOA, so she was Mark's assistant, had been with the company 30 years, so she loved the old system. But Jimmy, you don't have to worry about the old changes. Yours are hopefully, well, I don't know, in his assigned book, Christine, does he have policies that are in phase?
Still.
Yeah.
We just started the conversion, so
I forgot you.
everyone else. Yeah.
Are you all by yourself, Jimmy, or are you in the office with
I would, but
Fabian?
I am all by myself, but
Oh,
I
you're
am
on
trying.
Tuesday.
Oh, I am all by myself, but I'm trying to go into the office with Trish Shocker and Monica and America, because I think that's just that is night and day difference. Because there's little things that come up that I can just ask them. Yeah, and it's not like everything. So hopefully I might be in another office where I can have, but I don't want to take over other how do I say, other people's help. You know what I mean? Like just starting out, but I want to be able to just know that I'm doing the right things on the right. And there's so many parts to this puzzle. I'm like, wow, I go here and then I'm like, nope, I'm gonna finish one thing at one time and not focus on everything that comes in there, because then that's what I was just got completely overwhelmed and just like nothing got done. It was like drove me nuts.
Use the underwriters as a resource too, because put that number on your desk and put it on speed dial. I use them all the time to ask questions, especially in the old system, because you get stuck sometimes, and especially if you're new, you wouldn't know the little tricks, and they do know it. So you could reach out to me, I would go on a rotation, so I didn't bother one agent. I would just ask this one, and then I'd go from Andrew to Mike, and then I'd go to Cheryl. I would try to be respectful of their time, and I would try to space out my questions. And then I just started calling underwriting, because that's what they're there to support us and help us through. I don't know if that's a good idea, Christine, but that is what I do. I still do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's so much in this insurance world, like not one person can know it all. And I'm seeing that with Chris's office, like America does the servicing, which is great because that takes a weight load off of Chris, and then Monica, like having all that kind of network. But like I said, it's just trying to use my time wisely, but not take up too much of their time because they still have their work to do. But it's just like there's just something where I can't figure it out. I'm like, okay, let me try all these click to knows, and then all just yeah. It would be nice to have the training for like, oh, here's how to do service. Like, okay, here's 4 hours of service and to take over a new book of business. And these are the problems, these are the most common things that are going to come up. This is what you want to learn. You want to have this on your back pocket.
I think with the transition of roles from the AOA to the market assistants now, before it was agency office assistant, right? It was a one-on-one help in our agency. And I'm telling you, it's interesting like how they made that transition. What they did was they went out to LIMRA. So that's, you guys are familiar with the LIMRA organization. So it's life insurance something. Anyway, it's a huge organization that does a ton of evaluations of different companies and things like that, as well as support Fonseca and all these different financial advisor and life insurance organizations. Anyway, so LIMRA had a study on assistance high level of management. And we were the only insurance company in the whole country that had a one-on-one relationship with an assistant at my level of management. So the country said, well, why are we giving these, district leaders a one-on-one, assistant when other companies aren't doing that? They're spreading it out. So, and I get it. Like there is, because the model has changed. And like Devin in Medford, it's a little bit different. Like there's 4 agents in there, and then there was an agency office assistant, but I wasn't in there. Normally I would be, and then she would be my assistant to be able to assist the other agents in there. And now that whole model's changed. So they all work from home, and you know, and that was the role, the AOAs to help the new agents come on. And if they needed help quoting, if they needed service, I mean, that was your go-to. And now it's all different. And you know what's replaced that? Click to know. There you go, Jimmy. You gotta look it up.
I
You
mean,
know, and I'm not, like, I am not a systems person at all. Like, I can remember back from Legacy, I've never worked in PAS. Like, my role is not to know systems. My role is to help you develop your businesses. So that's kind of the difference. So, Jenny, like, I am no help to you at all when it comes to those things. But
But to know is so hard to understand, like, if you're not it doesn't work for my brain. I can't stand when they say, oh, or look it up, and the instructions are here, and I print out 3 pages of it, like, something that should take 5 minutes shouldn't take us an hour to make a change. I disagree with that. I don't think that's a good use of our time. Like, just help me get through. Why am I getting an error and I can't release this transaction? Just please help me figure it out, because that's
I think that's different. Like your example, that definitely would be a call to underwriting, right? Is, hey, I get this error message, can you help me push this through? That's a call to underwriting. But if
Right.
it's, how do I switch it, like, how do I switch an auto? Like, that's not a call to underwriting, that's a click to know, because the step-by-step instructions are all there. So there's a difference, you know, and I think that's what underwriting wants.
But they do, some underwriters will say, like, they will direct me back to the click to know sometimes, depending on what the situation
Depending on what the
is.
question is.
Yeah, so just be aware of that to me. I mean, you might like check click to know first, try.
Well, I have, that's what I've always done, but then I don't put it in the right phrase, like the right question on that. And then I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I'm going down a list of 20 pages. I'm like, okay, which one was it? And but it's just knowing the right questions to ask. Cause I mean, once I get in there and I see the step by step, oh, okay, I can just split my screen. I can follow along, but it's just the fact of knowing what questions to ask and how to make these changes all the way on there is the challenge. It's like, but it's, yeah. And I've already, when I was on underwriting and last week, I was trying to get things worked out and he was like, you got to go in here. And I was like, I went here. You're my last resort, where I went through all of these parts. And he was like, well, you got to do this. I was all, I am doing the best that I can, but it was just a little bit of, it was overwhelming with just so many issues that were going on. And then Christina,
Yeah,
you did figure it out. See, you're like Sherlock Holmes.
So my encouragement, Jimmy, is to, you know, in order to not feel overwhelmed, right? I'm sure we've all been there, like, totally, we've all been there. My game plan when I start feeling overwhelmed is to actually put on paper, because that's just the way my brain works, is, okay, with this, here's the issue number 1, here's what it is, and here's what I need to do to fix it. And then I just list them all out. If there's 20 things, there's 20 things, but then I feel more accomplished. All right, now I have a game plan. Instead of just looking at all the emails in my inbox and feeling, oh my gosh, I got to get to all this, and feeling overwhelmed. So I don't know if that's something that you have started to do, because then you can start ticking them off and say, all right, I'm going to attack these 3 things for the next hour, and try and just get all those done. And even if you don't accomplish it, at least on number 1, okay, I'm not holding the hot potato anymore. I'm waiting for an answer from underwriting, or Monica's going to help me on Thursday, or whatever that looks like. And then you can just come to a conclusion where you can't take it any further, and then move to the next one. So that helps me not feel overwhelmed, knowing I've done everything I can to reconcile the situation. And then I move on to the next thing that's outstanding.
Yeah. Oh, I got a new pad of paper right with me now. So yeah, I go through those lists, but it's just like, I guess my biggest thing is not trying to service everybody when it comes in, and because this person has this issue, this one goes here. I just got to stay focused on one task, one person at a time, and then, like you said, just do the best that I can. Yes.
You go in line. If it's an emergency for some reason, you got to reprioritize that one. You know, somebody's waiting at the DMV to get an ID card, they don't know to call the service. I mean, I don't know. I've just. Anyone else have any ideas for Jimmy on that, Devin? Anything on your end? Rick?
Well, for me, it was just, well, I have a claim background, and it was just, as long as I do the discount and just kind of I needed adding a vehicle, it's taking a vehicle off, it's removing coverages, it's sending ID cards, it's making sure all the discounts are applied. So just for me, it was a clear goal of what I was trying to accomplish. And then, great, I know these things have to be done. I know I need to confirm that they're getting the multi-policy discount, that they're getting the more cars and drivers discounts or whatever the service request is. And I mean, as long as like I had my mind to identify what it was that needed to be done, then checking them off and going through the processes and making sure, and how to do it just kind of came a little bit easier. Just simplifying, what am I doing with an auto? I'm adding full coverage, taking it off. I'm putting a VIN and adding a vehicle, and I'm making sure all the discounts and drivers are there. Great. Like, so I would just have that list and then make sure that I went through it with each one. And I don't know, maybe not saying you're rushing through it, but I mean, when you get that much stuff, it's just overwhelming because you want to just burn through it and get it done. It's just when I burn through it and get it done, I didn't necessarily take the time to fully comprehend exactly what it was that I was doing. I mean, I accomplished it, but if you were to ask me to write down the same process I literally just did, it was difficult for me. So just taking my time and then just outlining what needed to be done on the files, just kind of checking it off.
You asked Devin if you didn't know how to do something in the beginning. Who did you ask? Like, did you?
The
What was
one,
your resource?
Cheryl, or I would call, just because sometimes getting through the underwriting was a little tougher, time consuming. I mean, 866 Country can add vehicles, they can remove vehicles, they can review my WIP in progress to make sure I'm using every discount. And so I use them as the resource. I mean, underwriting's great, reaching out to them. Sometimes I felt like there was a little, I'm not going to do your job for you. And reaching out to 866 Country and just getting a nice customer service person on the phone. And
Especially if it's billing. If it's a payment or you're trying to understand, because that can be a little challenging too, like understanding how they do the billing. And especially with the old AMP to the new one, you're probably gonna get some questions about that and having to change the dates. I can talk to you about that, because that's a whole another thing that you can utilize the service center to help you with. There's a lot to that right now, just because that just happened. We're still cleaning some of those ones up, or finding mistakes. If the service center even made a mistake, I had that happen the other day, and they pulled her money on the 10th. They paid till the 15th, and it always comes out on the 15th. That's how it was supposed to be. Call them. The guy looks at it now and says, "Oh, that wasn't right. This person did this wrong. My poor client made her account overdrawn." So, you know what I mean? Like, then you're going to utilize them because that's not something I can fix. And then I call them and they help fix it. But you're like the middleman. Then you can call your client back and say, "Oh, I got that fixed. So I can help you, Jimmy. Just call me. I know. I feel your pain. I totally know. Just call me."
I appreciate that so much. Yeah. I can help you where not to go if you guys need any of that direction. No, don't ask me for help yet, but I will be more than willing. Oh, if there's ever a time, it will happen where I'll be able to help you guys out as much. It's just right now that fire hose is no joke.
Well, Jimmy, you're trying to squeeze in there too, a commitment to your family as well, and spending some time with your granddaughter and family down in California. So it's a little added stress, right? Where you just feel, okay, I'm a little off, right? I'm trying to do this and be present. And I support that 100%. And it's the two shall pass, it won't last forever,
Yes.
you know?
And the calls
No.
keep coming, like the calls don't stop just because you're taking time off and clients still need stuff. So you can try to direct them to the service center, say I'm out of the office. I know other agents would say, please call 1-866-COUNTRY. I'm out of the office, stuff like that. It's hard to take time off though in this business.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. It's tough
I mean,
to be there.
does your out of office, are you out of office on Outlook? Or-
Yes, I went on Outlook and bookings. I guess those still are not working like they should be, but I will reach out. It's just been so much with IT. It's just been like messaging back and forth, and I was like, oh my goodness, yeah, it was just that didn't help adding on to not being able to service the book or not being able to make any changes. So I would get in there, it would just systems and that was frustrating, but at least that one's past this for now. So
Okay, so you do have on your out of office, for urgent matters, contact everyone as well. I want to make sure that you have that.
Yep.
That way people, hey, he's gonna be out. So,
yeah, and I'm
Um,
calling people, like I have a list of people who I'm gonna call back and just tell them, okay, let me find out like the servicing, okay, hey, you haven't forgotten, but I couldn't get access to it last week because of whatever, but last night I got on and I was like, finally, just because I wanted to just take a break, detox from country, so to speak, with all the
Dean Devon, getting in a signed book of business where Navigator gives you no access to your clients, none, access
That's
denied.
crazy. Well, that's crazy.
So-
I think in that, you have to then, at that point, you have to utilize the service center you just have to tell your clients from the get-go, I'm sorry. I have been having technical issues and I'm just not able to access your policies. You're gonna have to call the service center. As soon as I get this resolved, I'll reach back out to you to make sure you got everything handled. But I mean, people can't wait if they need to add a car. Or, you can't expect them to call them in a week. And I had a ton of IT issues when I first started. Devin, I don't think had as much as I did, but Mark thought my computer was broken. Kept saying we're gonna
Well,
ship
so we
it
thought
back.
with, yeah,
Well,
so we thought with Jimmy.
Andrew and everyone in the office was like, it's like, I just had a really bad luck too, like at the beginning, and then we just kept working through it. I don't understand what happened, but it got resolved eventually, so hang in there, they'll fix it, but mine was hard, really, really hard as well for about 2 straight months.
yeah,
But luckily, I wasn't alone. I had people in the office where Cheryl had to do it on her computer. Like we just had to be creative. And I don't know if I had as big of a book as you, because I felt like I was maybe only getting like 2 calls a day. But bigger books, depending, like maybe you're getting, like, I do feel like that increases based on how many clients you have.
Right.
Sometimes it's manageable, and it does come in flow, like a whole bunch at one time, it seems. They're never just steady every day. They're getting 1 call, 2 calls, sometimes 5 people call one day, and then nobody the next day. So I don't know if you're experiencing that, or if you're just getting a ton of people calling you.
it's hit and miss I mean, it's like you said, when people need it, they want it now, and everything that they want, they want it that same time. I'm like, okay, well, I'm
Right.
doing my best, but I'm just, and I can talk, and I'd much rather talk to people over the phone to explain instead of the back and forth emails, because then it gets, it's not as clear as like, hey, am I understanding this correctly? And it was, but I think this is the country's initiation for hazing new agents or something. Like, it's a test. If you can pass the 2 months, I guess is the trial point. I'm at 6 weeks, so hopefully this will. Oh,
Stand dilemmas, right? You can overcome these obstacles, then you're a lifer, you're in your life. You're gonna be okay.
but
They'll fix it. You could transfer them, like when they call, talk to them and then say, well, let's call the service center and practice doing a warm transfer over, get someone on the line for them. I learned, like billing is 3, push 3, push, and
Okay.
learn the numbers real quick where you can get someone on the phone and then you can hit transfer, or you could stay on with them and listen while the service center is helping to add that car because you don't have access.
See, I haven't
like
even
that.
learned that part yet either.
Yeah, I
So-
would definitely move that up your priority list because you're gonna need them.
Right.
And get the phone number and start calling the service center, practicing on Teams how to do it, how to transfer
Okay.
someone. Yeah.
Good idea.
Thank you guys.
Other, yeah. Some encouragement. So let's share some successes from last week. What part of your business did you feel was successful last week that we can encourage each other with?
And this,
It's
your turn. Let you go first.
Just seeing more from the like relationships that I'm building and the connections with people. It's good to see people coming back for referrals or people steadily referring you, and then just building on the relationships. I know we talked about it like maybe 2 weeks ago, but I had an existing client who's dating a real estate agent who owns his own business here in Ashland, and I sent them over the cards 2 weeks ago. I sent them a handwritten note. Then Thursday, I want to say, I got my first kind of referral from them, just wanting to run a property through to check on the fire score to see if it's insurable. So just seeing stuff like that, those relationships coming back to hopefully continue to build up the business. That one, and then I got a referral from the Rogue Valley Mall, and then checking out with different partnerships and vendors, and then hearing back from them and possibly quoting their business and things like that. So I like watching those little seeds hopefully grow into something. I want everything to be absolutely immediate. I want to call somebody, get all their information, sign them up with a policy, get it set up. Somebody says that they'd be a good referral network for me. Great. Give me 10 referrals right now. That's not the way it goes. It's just kind of a slow trickle. And it's nice to get those drops as they come. So I think that was a pretty good success for me last week. Didn't lead to a whole bunch of new business coming in the door, but keeping the correspondence alive. If they have questions, answering that, as quickly as I can, and getting the information that they need, because I want them to know it's easy. Like, hey, I got a question if this location's actually insurable. Great. I don't want this something that's sitting there for 3 days and then you get an answer, or I send you over an email. I want to get result right then and there. Just make the process nice and easy so it keeps them coming back.
Very good. So these are the reason I want to kind of go back to the reason I asked for sharing success is sometimes if you feel like you've had a hard week, it's been challenging, it's been busy, you're overwhelmed, you need someone to help you find those successful pieces of the day or the week. I mean, even if it was just one thing, right? Where if I make you think about, okay, let's focus on the good things. There has to be something, that was positive in your business in a time or a season where you feel like it's a challenge, right? So it just helps. It helps the mindset of, all right, let me get back to my why. There is good things happening in my business, whether it's like Devin, just what you explained, it's that building those relationships. Those take the longest. Those are the longest type of marketing strategy, building those centers of influence, doing the networking over and over and over till you start seeing fruit from it. So kudos to you for, being intentional with that and really focusing on the marketing piece of your business. I know we had a few conversations last week about, just, all right, how do I get more oomph in that marketing, piece and start, maybe changing some strategies within your business plan. So that's a good thing that you're focusing on that. You're seeing that you're committed. So, I mean, if you want me to share a success, I will just, you don't even have to ask me, I'll do it. For Devin, I mean, that is where I see as a leader, where you are looking back at kind of changing some strategies even midstream. The fact that you're looking at that and the fact that you're willing to do that and make that change, that is a win. And I see that as a huge success. So I just wanted to make sure, and you know, if I was there, I'd high five you. High five.
There you go. There's double five.
Way to go.
Good job, Devin. And you guys in hearing these are like, you guys are my inspiration in a different way. You know what I mean? So seeing the struggles and the trials that you guys are going through, knowing that, okay, I'm not the only one in this rowboat, so to speak. It's just a matter of getting in sync with all the pieces together. So, kudos for you. So you both are being marked, Devin and Nancy. I got my eyes on you. No. Okay.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about that, Jimmy, too, is that this you seeing all this.
Yep. Oh no, I'm listening.
It
I'm just gonna say goodnight to my
Okay.
little. She's going to go down for a nap time. So this is my Olivia. Oh, he's like, what the heck? Oh, so she was up at 5 a.m. Oh, all right. Yep, there you go. Your first teams. Welcome to the team. Oh,
You.
all right. Sorry, I had to.
No, you're fine. I was just, the only thing I was gonna say was that this can be, that yes, they're an inspiration to you, but also it's this, even though they're, what, 18, 19 months in at this point, Devin and Nancy still have challenges, right? So the challenge I mean, I could talk to, anyone on our team that's 25 years in, there's still challenges. It's running a
Right.
business. So.
I don't need to tell Jimmy that.
Oh.
Tell
No,
him.
I like to make sure people know what they're getting into.
You gotta be,
you know.
I'm very honest and I help
Yeah.
well, so.
But there's no, I think honesty is important, right? Transparency is important. And it gives the person that you're being honest and transparent with the choice, they have choice at that point, right? No one's trying to convince anybody of anything. Like, this is reality. This is what we deal with every single day. But you have a choice of whether to power down and, you know, lean into the hard, because you know there is a great reward for doing so. So I never sugarcoat anything, because it's not worth it, you know. And then you come back, and I've had, you know, in the past I learned my lesson with that. If you told me, like, yeah, I probably wasn't as honest as I could have been about what you might experience. So from that point on, I'm like, look, I'm gonna be fully honest and transparent. It's be hard, like the firmest thing you're gonna do, right? And Jimmy, no doubt in your situation, like, this is tough. It
Right.
is, but you're leaning in, and you're gonna get through it, because the things that you're dealing with that are tough right now, they can be, like, they can be overcome.
Right.
You know, like, it's just having the knowledge and knowing where to go and how to make the change and all of those things. Once you learn that problem's over. Right now, you know how to do it in the system. So, but I appreciate you guys offering to help and support. It's good to see. It's good work. So, even though you all have your own agencies, you're running too. So, all right, Nancy's success.
Well, I accomplished doing the show and shine event on Saturday. I had an extremely busy week and I was struggling to get all the things done. And then on top of that, feeling like I wasn't as prepared as I wanted to be, but I pulled it together Friday night, and it was Saturday morning here in Twin Creeks where my office is, and the Central Point Police Department put it on. So I met so many fun people. There was fun music, classic cars, hot dogs. Everyone was so nice, and it was so, like, such an event of just like all of the community and kids coming out and guys with their hot rods, and my husband brought his, and my kids came by to say hi, and I don't know, it's just like, I just felt like I was struggling Thursday, talking myself out of some of these things, and then I just really have to be my own worst, like, Nancy, you have to do this, like this will be worth it, you need to do it, but like I start backpedaling, saying, oh, that's too much, I don't have enough time in the day, and I didn't do this, this, and this, and so my husband's like, you're fine, go and get a tablecloth, figure it out, you don't know what size the table is, it's okay, like, I was seriously like going crazy Friday night. They were like supposed to put the canopy up in the table, and I started like overthinking it, like I don't feel like I had a good enough plan, but I put it together. I went to Harry David, had a giveaway, like all the things. It was really fun. So I'm proud that I did something hard that I was kind of thinking maybe I shouldn't have signed up for. If I'm honest, I'll tell you guys that's how I felt. Like maybe it wasn't going to be worth my time, but I think it was, and I think it was important to meet people that are part of this community where my office is. So I feel very happy that I did it.
So
Congratulations.
Nancy, how was the result of that? You know, the experience in and of itself, I think is there's always value in that. There's always value in running a marketing event where you get the exposure, especially in your area where your office is. So
Right.
they can meet you and all of that. The other piece of it is, all right, did you get referrals from it? Maybe it wasn't a specific referral, but it's a relationship that you made, hey, you're gonna follow up with coffee. Like, talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of people when I would say, oh, my office is just right down the street. They're like, oh yeah, I've seen that. So it was kind of like putting the two together. I also brought a bunch of Haggerty stuff because Haggerty is something through brokerage to me that we can use that carrier. They just do collector cars. And so if it doesn't fit with Country because maybe it has too much horsepower or maybe the value, there's reasons Country won't do it with the antique endorsement and Haggerty's a better fit, or say somebody has 5 hot rods, probably going to put it on a collector car policy. So I sold that, you know, where I was at Propel, like we had guys that had $1 million collection of cars and that's where we put them. So I'm very familiar with that. So I was trying to show that as well, because there's just so many people around here who have those types of cars, and a lot of people kept coming up to the table, and I gave the magazine with these Haggerty bags I had planned somewhat and had that all shipped to me ahead of time about 2 months ago. So I was preparing for this event, and then I just got really busy. But I gave that away, and so many people were like, oh, I'm already with Country, or oh, I actually have Haggerty, and we didn't know we could do that through. So it was just like product knowledge, you know, even if they're with another agent, I could help say, oh, well, you should ask your agent. You know, someone was with Hank, and I said, oh, talk to Hank. He knows we have Haggerty, you know. And they're like, oh, I'm buying a new car. And I was right next to Rogue Credit Union, which is our big credit union here. And they do loans on collector cars and boats and all the things and auto. So it's like, I got to, there was someone there that you know, it's just like you said, you're out in the community, you're like, oh, Jimmy knows all these people. Well, there's people too that I'm like, oh, I didn't know you worked at Rogue, and they were giving away ice cream sandwiches. So, you know, it was really cool. And just like police officers in the community, we have an occupational discount for police officers. So it was more just like people putting it all together, like, oh, I know it'll lead to things. It wasn't necessarily in the moment that someone, you know, but there was a lady, she's like, I want to have you look at my home. Can you also do homes? Because I've been somewhere for 20 years with farmers and my rates went up. And I was like, absolutely. So, you know, and then the person who I drew the name didn't respond back. So today I need to find her and see if she'll come by the office to pick up her basket. She must have already left. So it's just like, I just felt like you're kind of just putting your feelers out for all kinds of different things. But I had my cards. You know, I had Haggerty magazines, I had Country financial brochure. So I kind of was trying to, you know, just explain what we do, because so many people don't know, you know, like they don't know we do life insurance. So you really have to just be educating all the people, even if that particular person doesn't utilize you, they may tell someone about you. And so I believe in that so much. And it's like, oh, but I remember I met this Nancy and she's right down the street. You know, she told me she has life insurance. And then they tell someone about you. So, you know,
It was just kind of like network, that was my networking event for the week, because I didn't do any other networking, so I knew I was gonna get 3 hours of social time of talking to random people, and so that was my networking for the week. So,
That's perfect. I love that. There is, like I said, it's not so much the results of, I walked away with 20 quote sheets,
Yeah.
that I think you have to go into these marketing efforts, and you have to know if you're going to invest, and I don't know how much the booth was or whatever you invest, what is your end game? What do you want to walk away with? So have a goal in mind, and then if it was just, hey, I just brand exposure, my office exposure, I want people to know that, and I want to be reassured that people see my office, and oh yeah, I see that. I mean, if that was the goal, was just the Nancy Shields Insurance and Country Financial Insurance Agency exposure, then you accomplish that, and
Yeah,
more and
that
more
was-
of those
that
that
was it.
you do. Yeah, but always, for all three of you, when you're doing a marketing effort, make sure that you have an end goal in mind that's realistic, that you can, maybe a little bit of a stretch goal, but you can grasp it, right? Don't be unrealistic with, hey, I'm gonna, set up a booth here. I want 20 leads. Well, then what are you going to do? If that's your goal, then what are you going to do to get those leads? Then it might have been more of direct conversation. Hey, who has your auto and home insurance? Like you might have been a little bit more aggressive, right? With wanting to get quote sheets. You might have had a quote sheet out there. You might have, that was your goal. If your goal was just brand exposure for yourself, then you would have been going around and meeting everybody at their booths, introducing yourself, having a conversation with Road Credit Union. Hey, how can we connect? I'd love to take it a coffee. I mean, things like that. So when you run a marketing effort like that, the end goal really helps you design what path you're taking on that day, like the day of the activity, right? Does that make sense?
yeah, mine was more just kind of having put the face with the name, and that I'm Country Financial. I'm kind of like you. I don't really like trying to seem like I'm selling you something. I want to be there to support and help and answer questions and educate. And so people see the value in that, and then they don't feel like turned off by, people. I couldn't even believe that they were like, this is free. I can have all this for free, because I had beer koozies that's in Country Financial. I was just giving them all the things, and they were like, I don't have to buy anything and put my name in the drawing. I was like, no, I'm just giving it away to whatever lucky person so anyways, I don't know. I mean, I probably talked to 50 to 75 people, like
That's
just
awesome.
shaking their hand, getting to know them, giving them my card. So I don't know. We'll see. Even if I get one new household, it'll pay for, it's pretty inexpensive to do the booth. So if I get one new, household out of it, I'll break even. If I get more than one, then, it's definitely worth it. So we'll see.
I love that. Yeah. Great. Thank you for sharing that, Nancy, and just the, educating maybe Jimmy, who's never done a marketing booth before, table at a show or whatever that may be. It's good to hear that, how other people are, like, what their focus is and the result that they had, and really just reminding all of you that it's just about making sure having that goal when you're going to put money towards something. And you're wondering, should I do this? Should I not? Well, what do you want to accomplish? I mean, that's the first thing you have to ask yourself. It's not just sitting there to sit there, right? Okay, I did it for 3 hours. I, did a booth. Yay, pat me on the back. It's no. What did you accomplish? What did you go in trying to accomplish with that marketing effort? Otherwise, you might have spent that 3 hours, finishing some service work in your office. That might have been even better, But if you go in there having a plan, and it's all about, I'm telling you, those, especially the community ones, like you said, Nancy, like that was golden, right? I mean, you met 50 to 75 people that are in the community and tied to the Hagerty that you help, offer that coverage. They know your office is right down the street. I mean, perfect.
Yeah, almost everyone there was like, yeah, we live in Central Point. Maybe they didn't live in Twin Creeks, but they lived somewhere, you know,
Yeah.
there was a lot of people in Central Point, and then they did a cruise downtown later. So, and there was a new restaurant that opened, so I went to that, to their grand opening. I mean, it was just a really busy weekend. I need to clean my house.
Really?
I need to have a great stuff this sometime. I don't know when I'm supposed to do all the other things I have to do, but I need an assistant for that, a helper. But, you know, we all need to take like some time to recharge. Like you're saying, Jimmy, like I need a break sometimes from country. Like I don't want to work on the weekend. I need a break. But when you're that busy on the weekdays, that can, like, I held 2 evening appointments when I'm now taking up my evenings and my weekends. Like it's a lot. But I got 3 life apps out of it last week. So my evening appointments, in addition to planning for the car show, that's why I felt like I didn't have time to do anything else, because I was getting home at 7:38 at night. When I had Monday night, I did one and they brought their 1.5-year-old son. And I can't say it was my proudest moment driving home. What could I have done better? Because that went like not great, even though it went great in the way that they both wanted life insurance. I was trying to have them leave, to be honest. I'm like, thank you, here's your folder. Go look at it at home, because it was like chaos. I felt like they weren't hearing anything I was saying. And then the wife didn't want to leave. She was like ready to sign up. And I was like, oh my God, I have to do this with this little 1.5-year-old boy who's writing on my desk with a pen, was spilling things. I was just like, it was not my proudest moment of just like that I handled that, because I was like, I have nothing to have him play with. I was giving them paper clips. Like, I mean, we were just seriously like, it was really funny. It's just quite a week to all of that.
You'll never, Nancy, you'll never forget that.
Yeah,
You'll
I
never
did
forget
the
it,
magic
right?
erase route. He wrote on my nice new desk, and I was like, oh my gosh. Like, what parents give their kid a pen?
Oh,
It was just hilarious. So, anyways,
So,
but
maybe you could order some coloring books and some crayons or something from the country store. I don't know if they still have those.
washable markers.
I don't know. I know in our office, like in the break room, there's just a bin of some toys, right? Some
Yeah.
cars and some plastic, duplex stuff. I mean, you can, maybe that's something to invest in and put it in your cupboard, bring it out when you need it. I don't know.
I have lots at my house. I'll bring the play pet
Yeah.
to my granddaughter,
Right.
move it to the oven, I can lock them up.
You want to put them in here, have a pack
Yeah.
and play.
I haven't suggested I
Oh,
would
no,
play
no.
pets in the closet. Like, maybe he can play some toys and we can concentrate on talking about, like, they were
Yeah.
not listening at all. I don't even know how I sold it, you guys. I mean, literally, I think they were just like,
That's
ready.
awesome. They were just ready. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, people are ready. They're like, can we just get the application and you can, we just need it because we have a baby.
Yeah,
and you go.
that was, I said it over the phone, and then, man, she listened and was like, what, you also said you wanted to talk to us about life insurance. Well, they'd already been there an hour and 45 minutes, and I was like, oh yeah, I do. How about another night? We're gonna be here till 9 o'clock. It was funny.
Oh my
I
God.
pulled it off
What?
now, but yeah.
It's already 9:50. Like we've already, I
Yeah.
thought we're gonna wrap this up.
It's my
And this is what I love. I love that even if it's just, hey, we're spending 45 minutes to an hour just encouraging, like all 3 of you encouraging each other, and you feel like, okay, I'm not in this by myself, type of thing. So, let's spend the next just 5 minutes just going through and collecting the data of the week. So Nancy, let's start with you. Life premium, how much weekly written activity So
I didn't even add them
premium.
up. I haven't had time to add them up. I'll message you
Okay.
how much it is. I'm doing the husband of the wife who wasn't there Friday. We're doing his today at 2:00. So
Awesome.
technically I should have had 4, but the other one's coming
All right.
today. Yeah, because I had 3 houses closing, and one of them, like, I would have just sent him the app, and I was like, I hadn't met him, and I was like, oh, you should come by. And so I was like all life last week. Like, I didn't do any reviews. I just had like life on my mind. Like, this is like make or break. I have to do it to move over on the grid, or I won't be able to hire someone. I had come to that conclusion on the 15th of the month, and I was like, Kristen said, what are you gonna do when you're backed in the corner? Well, this is what I'm gonna do, because there's no way I can make payroll if I don't get out of this, getting at the bottom of the grid. I can't hire somebody. It's not gonna work, because I'm, I have to pay myself too. I've worked a lot of hours. I'm not willing to not pay myself. So this is what I'm gonna do, is I'm moving over. So I was trying to do 6 this month. So, to have 4 in the, basically last week. And then this other guy who came in to sign, I printed the illustration. His wife wasn't there, and he was leaving to Alaska the next day. And I already wrote him an email and said, hey, when you're back, let's have you guys both come in, you and your wife. We need to, like Christine said, we have to figure out our life insurance plan for you. You have a second mortgage. You guys now have like $1 million in mortgage, and this guy's in his 20s. And they don't have kids yet, but he's bought a second house and he owns his own business. And he's doing really, really well for a 27-year-old. And I know it's going to be inexpensive. So, I gave him an illustration quickly and then said, as soon as you're back, I know you have a lot this week with closing on the house, come in with your wife. We're going to sit down. We need to have some mortgage protection. What if something happens to you? She's not going to be able to pay both of these payments. So he was like, sure, sounds great. So, like, strike while the iron's hot, or like, if you see that opportunity, I just am good at switching gears. Like, I wasn't gonna do a life appointment. I was just gonna have him sign and meet him and establish that rapport. But it was like, he told me, I'm not selling the other house. I want to write that as a rental. I need you to rewrite that. And it was like, how much is the new mortgage you just got? And we started talking, and I was like, look, $1 million of debt just right there. That's for a 27-year-old. Plus cars and all the things he was naming off, and a business that has, could she run the business if something happens to you? So I just posed those needs questions that Christine taught me, and man, people, like, their ears are like, like, I think I made him not feel so warm and cozy about that he just got a second $600,000 mortgage. He was like, yeah, that is $1 million when you add it together. You're like, cute, My wife doesn't make enough that she can pay both of those. So anyway,
Well, that's your job. Nancy, that's what you do. That's
Right.
what you provide your clients is, hey, you might not be thinking of this, but I am, because I'm your advisor. So this is
Right.
what I do for all my clients. So
Yeah.
great job. Like, look at when you have a goal in your mind that you're like, I'm gonna do 6 life apps this month, and they get them through, and hopefully in the month of either July or August, they go
Right.
paid, like you're making inroads to the 12 life apps in a rolling 12, because you're so far down on the grid that because you don't have the 12 life apps, you roll right up to the top, right? And it's, you deserve it. You deserve it. All the work
too
that
hard to be at
Yeah.
well, it sounds like the top, but it's really the top is the bottom.
you want to be at the
Usually at
bottom.
the
You don't
top.
want to be at the
I
top.
want to be at the bottom of the grid when
Yes.
you're not highest, but Christine's making it sound rosy that I'm at the top, which is the lowest.
It's my switcheroo. It's my mind. Yeah. My mindset.
I'm at the bottom, but I'm going to the top because I work too hard to be at the bottom. So
Good
Yeah.
for you. I love it. So how many life appointments did you have? I'm just kidding.
well, 2, but then that was like the bonus third one was the guy that
Okay.
came in for the signing. You could kind of call that a life because I
Yeah,
actually,
we're gonna call that because you had the discussion. Absolutely.
but it wasn't planned. Yeah, so 3.
Awesome. Hit it, Rick.
5 last week.
And how many cars did you do?
I didn't do any last week. I
You
didn't
have your
any-
life appointments. Yeah.
Yeah, because I knew I had those evening appointments, and then I think I had 3 referrals. If I'm thinking of all of them, I had just 3.
So let me ask you guys real quick. Because, it says on the spreadsheet, referrals, get 5 per week. Like, that's something you can't control, right? Is getting the referrals. So let's just position this. And maybe you guys are thinking of it this way. When I look at it, I think, how many referrals did I get? I want to reposition this of how many referral asks did I make? All right, because you have more control over that. So I'm going to change it on here. do referral asks. Cause to me, I can control that. So if we redid that, how many referrals did you ask for? How many situations did you find yourself in where you could ask for referrals?
I have to get better at that. I have to admit, that is not my strong point. I don't, I just,
Well, now wait,
I don't ask. I mean, you've been talking about it, so it's on my mind, but I've got to,
yeah,
you know, I guess at my life appointments, I should have asked, but I didn't.
well, you
So-
can now, as you wrap that up, you can
Yeah.
say, all right, now that you've experienced this, you know, who do you know that needs to experience this as well? You know? And then I do have your show and shine event for your marketing and networking activity, so great
Okay.
job on that. Devin, how about you? Life premium,
0,
life appointments,
0,
PIF BIP,
2,
cars,
1,
and referral ask.
2,
Awesome. Any marketing or networking activity?
looking into the Rose Valley, like farmers market.
Nice.
Yeah, so I got the application for that, and that's something I'm gonna do.
Very good. Jimmy, how about you? Life premium,
0. And the same with
life
the,
appointment.
yeah, 0. I had
Okay.
some cars scheduled, but I have to reschedule those just because of the bookings and all that didn't
Yes.
quite. So and 0 PIF
Which is-
bids. Or was that?
You wrote the PIF this. It was the week before, right?
Yes, Brian, and I have Rob's stuff, but we just couldn't get access to it to do anything. So I'm waiting for people to give me the right information so we can close a deal, send them the signature, and that's what Monica mentioned, like, oh, I gotta just get him to sign, and then that way at least that one's done. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm just playing phone tag, a lot of it back and forth with the people because I want to kind of get those done and then get Bruce, everybody get those out of the way because those are already ready to go. It's just a matter of scheduling them and
Button them up,
yes,
put a bow on it, Jimmy.
yes.
All right, how many referral asks would you say?
Well, I did go to the Ben Summerfest with my daughter and my wife, and we just ran into other people I haven't seen in a long time, and just so I didn't letting them know that I'm doing country and that I'm their insurance guy. So I would say like 2 that I actually had a deeper conversation and grabbed a whole bunch of business cards that I'll be reaching out to as I'm going there and talking to the people in their booths and finding out what they're doing and just seeing, I was like, oh, they're just traveling. They weren't living in Bend. So I was like, oh, they were coming from Wisconsin. I was like, wow, that's a long
Yeah.
commute. So, but yeah, getting those, and I have a meeting when I come back following Monday with the chamber to become a member to find out more about the Bend Chamber. Because I figured that would be a really good resource from the other networking. I got more information, but like it's not the group I want to be involved with and I don't want to be driving to Redmond on this. There's enough people in Bend that I could, so you can
That's
start your
certainly
own.
your- Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know people in Redmond, but I know Bend is definitely way easier and people are gonna come to me or I can go to
Lucrative.
them. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're already at time. Gosh, an hour went by really fast.